we assign coordinators to weddings 2 months out from the wedding date. So at that point, the coordinator will reach out to their couple and introduce themselves and let them know that they'll be their main contact up until the wedding day. And then you will have an assistant venue coordinator come in the day of your wedding, and he or she will help your coordinator an hour before the ceremony, make sure the ceremony space is ready to go, and then they could run your music for you. Your assistant stays all through the night, where your venue coordinator typically leaves around dinner time. After the main events are finished, the assistant will then stay with you all through the evening and help with the cleanup at the end of the night. They'll take care of our rental and included items and like take our linen off the tables, stack chairs, and help at the end of the night work.
So we do have a list of rental items that couples can choose either for their ceremony or reception space. In addition to these rental items, we also have a list of included items that they can choose from at no extra cost. Outside of this list of rentals, we can provide them with vendors that we have worked with that have other specialty rental items such as vintage furniture, farm tables, chivalry chairs, and much more.
I personally take on 2 or 3 a month, but our other venue coordinators will do anywhere between 25 and 45 weddings a year.
Yes, so each of our rooms, reception spaces, actually comes with their own set of restrooms for our weddings. So they're each paired specifically, so you don't have to worry about guests crossing over into different events or anything like that. And we definitely make sure there's at least a women and a men's restroom or 2 unisex restrooms or something like that. And there might even be an additional handicap restroom for guests to use as well.
Yeah, it takes a decent team to get the wedding from start to finish. So we start off with our setup team of anywhere from 2 to 5 employees. They're working with our housekeeping team to clean the room and set the tables, the chairs and the linen, and then after that the coordinators come in and make sure everything is good to go for the couple to come in and decorate. And then those setup team members stay throughout the day. They later, once it's closer to the wedding time, will help direct your guests to the ceremony space. And then they stay through the evening and the rest of the team starts to go home, and it will be just your assistant at the end of the night. So all in all, 8 to 10 team members to help with just your wedding. So it's a good crew.
So there was this couple that came into town and they were like, we want to get married. Like, it was like the next day, I think.
Yeah. It was a very small, like just the couple. They didn't have
just
anyone else.
They met a guy at the bar the night before who was watching the same soccer game as them. And they were not from the United States. I don't remember what country they're from. Super great accent. I do remember that.
Yeah.
But they needed witnesses. So we kind of just scraped the bottom of the barrel and I ended up being the maid of honor. And then the guy from the bar the night before was their best man. He showed up literally in Sperry's.
Yeah.
Boat shoes and like cargo shorts, like just normal cargo shorts and a t-shirt, baseball cap and everything. He was like coming from the boat, summertime, it was gorgeous, I think July. And I'm in my blazer with my name tag and she had this stunning dress handmade in Italy. I remember it was so beautiful. So that's probably one of the biggest things that I've done is like literally stepped up to be somebody's maid of honor and actually sign their marriage license for them. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, that was a huge one. But we also just do simpler things, but still helpful on the wedding day. We go in, we get hors d'oeuvres for the couple during cocktail hour because most often the couple doesn't have time to go and get them before they get announced into the room, and then it's pretty much time for dinner and hors d'oeuvres are gone. So little things like that.
Honestly, one of my favorite things that you guys do is fluffing the dress before the bride walks down the aisle, and also making sure their veil is straight, because it's not something people always think about often, but especially during the rehearsal that you guys put on for the couples, it's like a really big part of like, and this is where we'll fluff your dress and straighten out your veil, and then it's an immediate like, okay, I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Make sure they look good going down the aisle.
So this one's fun because obviously I work with a lot of our brides really, really closely because I get paired with them and then I'm kind of their right-hand person for the venue their entire wedding day until I leave around dinner time. So obviously that comes with, running to get all of the bridesmaids' bouquets on the head table if they want them for the announcement in, or it can count as helping the bride bustle the dress. It can count as even couples hiring us to decorate their space for them if they can only decorate the day of, and really going, I've even had to do some linen emergency recovery and drive to Witulski the day of a wedding to pick up some linens because they didn't come in right in the order and things like that. So definitely willing to go out of my way to make sure that our brides and grooms and everyone is satisfied with their wedding here and all of the services that we provide.
Yeah, selecting vendors is a process. It's planning your wedding. If you find that you're running into steps where you're not really sure which direction to take things, or you just need help figuring those next steps out, talk to a planner. But we are here to help. We do see that most of our couples are coming from out of town, so we try to have a lot of really helpful and concise materials readily available so that you guys can plan out those next steps. The biggest and most important one being our preferred service providers list. It's a very narrowed down list of local vendors who we screen. Honestly, we screen them to make sure they've done a certain number of weddings with us and that they're maintaining their reputations and are still offering good service. So our vendors are really great. Local vendors, it's a really great place to start.
Couples can ask the coordinators questions about vendors for sure. We aren't their planners, so we won't probably give too much input on like whether they should reserve a specific one, but we can give informative answers on what type of services they provide. We have our coordinators review each PSP's website and check them out, get to know their work a little bit so they can help couples with their questions when they're planning their wedding.
So this one's great as well because obviously Castle Farms only provides the venue, the tables and chairs, and the linens that each of our couple use, so they are welcome to choose whatever other vendors they would like. So that really helps because they're able to pick vendors that are within their budget and that are going to be able to give them the service that they really desire. So obviously different vendors, whether it's caterers offering different types of foods or photographers that offer different editing packages or different amount of hours that they're here and things like that. And we do have a great preferred service provider list that we give to each of our couples. And we're also putting together a preferred service provider guide that's going to give 2 photos and a description of all of the vendors on our preferred service provider list to give couples a little bit of an easier time to kind of break that list down and see exactly what those vendors offer and their services.
Absolutely. So we do provide our couples, when they initially book with us, a preferred service provider list. They understand our wedding process and event process very well, but couples aren't limited to this list. They are more than welcome to venture outside of the list and choose any vendors that they'd like for their wedding day.
Yeah, we do have a lot of couples that call and ask about insurance. What does that look like for my event? What do you offer? Do I need insurance? And essentially, we have insurance to cover the basics. Like if a brick pops out of place and somebody twists their ankle, of course we're going to have insurance for that because we welcome guests all year round to come and visit the castle. We have to be safe in that way. For actual event insurance, for like a wedding or a birthday party or something like that, we don't have event insurance for certain types of situations that there could be things that happen in the world that are completely out of everybody's control. So that's where doing a quick Google search for, event day insurance or, wedding insurance, there are websites ready to go for, literally just type in your credit card information, you can get a policy and you're good to go for really last minute things. If something else happens, we're always going to be trying to be flexible and offer as many other alternative options before having to cancel an event. That's the last thing we want to do is cancel somebody's wedding. So we're always going to be flexible if something did come up.
Some couples can check with their current insurance agency, homeowners insurance, and get a just 1-day event day rider on their homeowners policy. So that's a good option. Or we often refer couples to protectmywedding.com because they have coverage for pretty much everything.
Yes, so all of our spaces are going to be ADA accessible. At least one of the doors is going to be wide enough and have a ramp, so there's no stepping that needs to happen or anything like that. And then even in the summer, we typically have a golf cart on site that is available for rental that we can typically use to help get either elderly guests or guests that have problems with mobility. They can make their way down to like the Queen's Courtyard or the Knight's Courtyard for different ceremony locations and things like that.
So payments basically run the same depending on what type of event it is. So majority for wedding couples, payments will be broken up into a payment schedule. So basically broken up into a series of different deposits over the course of a year, year and a half, depending on when their wedding date is with us versus when they first booked with us. Payments can be made by a check, money order, cash, or by credit card. We do have a credit card service fee with that though as well, which is 2.52%. Other than that, those 4 different payment options still gives couples a wide range of ways to properly pay for their wedding day here.
Not a lot of people realize how close-knit our team is. And as an example, Brittany and I literally grew up together in Charlevoix. I was like half a mile from here is where I spent the first 8 years of my life, and we went to church about a half mile the other direction together. So even just that and being in each other's weddings, like we've seen a lot and done a lot in Charlevoix, so we're great resources for anything and other questions that may come up. Brittany and I are always available via phone or email, and outside of that, we just look forward to hearing from you guys.
Yeah, we're excited to hopefully work with you.